asking this question? Is it new? I mean, why would a person die and no one shows up to claim what the person left behind?
Well, I want to believe that it is new because the law, particularly when it comes to unclaimed estate, unclaimed dividend, and unclaimed property, the law has been there. It is just so unfortunate that the operators and those that enforce the law, I think maybe it is laxity on their parts. That's why such has not been. Because when you see the new development, we can call it new because it's not novel, but it's not been there. I've been seeing a lot of such notices. I don't really know why we're just been picking it in Nigeria now. The essence is that once you have a property, you are entitled to your property. You know, for you to even open an account with any bank, there will be where the issue of next of kin will be. That in event of your death, so number of people and this so person can come to claim it. But unfortunately, most of the time, there is a little bit of loss of information. And the law is that within the next 30 days, before it can be declared that this estate should go to treasury, it must be published. There must be notice of it for intending or will be next of kin or anybody that can make the link. And I think another thing is issue of transparency, issue of accountability, which I believe back home in Nigeria, this is what we should be practicing. This is the way to go.
Okay, when we're talking about transparency, the issues that these are Nigerians out there. Firstly, is it a lack of awareness, and what are the implications when we say this is the issue of transparency, accountability to self, now family, and perhaps the society at large?
But like I said earlier, there is a law. The law has to be obeyed. But the way the operators of the law behaves and now the full compliance to the law is another issue. It has been there that he who owns a property should be the owner of the properties. And in the event of his death, we are not an island. All of us have relatives. We have next of kin. That is the issue of next of kin always coming to being. Now, when we talk of issue of accountability, it is the operator. The question which we ask is this, particularly in Nigeria, how sincere our banter, how open our banter. I know that a lot of money, particularly in Nigeria, that nobody even knows. The family may not even know that because of corruption. For sometimes we had a director in the company finding about 10 billion in his account, and you'll be surprised that the wife, those who are next to him may not know. But what matters most is the issue of accountability. And again, the need for law, a very stronger law, to deal with such people that can conceal such property. Recently, I think since back last year, the National Assembly tried to make a law for unclaimed dividend. I don't really know how far they've been able to achieve in making that bill to law. Once we have this kind of thing, apart from mandating whosoever to declare such property and to make notice for the would-be next of kin to come and claim their property, there must be some penalty for whosoever that try to conceal that. For you to conceal it without letting those who want to have this property to know, there must be some fine or lives of some sentencing that we can use to deter people from doing what, to ensure that they do what is right at all time.
You're actually already speaking to my next point, and perhaps we just continue on that trajectory. We're looking inwards now, and you have highlighted that across financial institutions, a whole lot of resources are stashed in there. Stocks alone have over 18 billion naira as at the last count in unclaimed dividends. How do we rationalize this? You've spoken about the banks as well. Is there a solution to this in the short run? I mean, at what point do they get forfeited to government, since the government is in need of cash as well?
But the solution to it is to have a very strong law and regulations. And apart from having laws and regulations and statutes, to have the operators of that law to comply, total compliance with it. And total compliance can come when there is some penalty. For example, as a bank, or maybe all these discounts house, all these shares, all these stocks exchange and co. What is supposed to be is that anytime you are found wanting keeping someone's property, estate, without declaring or giving, and apart from that, we always believe that they are ethical, they have no be a professional. One of the first things that start with a professional is that morality, issue of ethics, you are not found wanted. And for you to be called a banker, for you to be called a financial advisor, for you to become a lawyer, that issue must be. And once we have that, I think the issue of transparency and accountability will not have any issue there, and the issue of dishonesty will not be.
Is this an issue of lack of awareness or issue of distrust when someone willingly decides not to let his or her family know that this is what I have, and then we're left with these kinds of situations?
It is two ways, both the issue of distrust and the issue of lack of awareness. Unfortunately, many people have made fortune, as make even some of their estates. They got it in a wrong way, maybe either corruption or most of this financial crime and co. And most of them, they like to conceal it. And that's the issue of the distrust. Is many people in this country today, they have money, their spouses, their family, they're not even aware of it. Until when they are no more, then the issue will be of awareness. We believe that ignorance of law is no excuse to anybody. This issue is issue of law. It is not only issue of ethical or issue of morality. The law is there. Before any property can be transferred to another person or an island, you must have family somewhere. And who knows? Most of this family, they are living in abject poverty. They are looking for the succor, whereas there's money somewhere. I think what matters most is for the government and for the people, particularly the stakeholders, to come out fully to tackle this issue. Thank you. We are discussing now. That is part of our awareness. Everybody knows that you cannot take away my money without giving adequate notice for anybody to claim it. And when after the time has lapsed, that's when you can touch the money. But unfortunately now in Nigeria, some banks sometimes will even take the money while you are still alive and decide to spend the money, not to talk to those who are there. And I think, and again, that's why I talked about strong law to regulatory agency to ensure that such things should not happen.
Financial institutions would actually have them. Firstly, how do we get people to involve their loved ones in running their estates, and knowing that in the event of anything happens to me, this is where you go? I wouldn't like, for instance, my kid running all over the place when I'm not there to have his needs met. And secondly, how will this impact the society as a whole when we ensure that there's transparency and accountability in just that space of the dead?
Well, thank you very much. The issue, everything has been settled. That's why we have this concept of next of kin. That is why you see, even if you are starting a job today, the employers will ask you, who is your next of kin? If you are opening a bank today or you are buying a property, there is a next of kin. And apart from that, there is a need for you to even prepare will. But in this time, people are afraid to die. So they are afraid, even if you advise a client, why don't you make a will? They may not even have, they will avoid you to say, oh, this man wish me there. But the essence of it is because these are the concepts, these are the ways for you to safeguard whatever is left behind. Like the concept I mentioned about the next of kin. When there's next of kin, nobody need to even look for any notices or to place any notices to know who to call upon when there is such issue that they will need you. That's why some of them always, maybe the wife, the brother, some even look for girlfriend, some they can be funny to look for their mother, who certainly will predecease them. Unfortunately, that is one of the things that happen. But what matters most is for everybody to be enlightened, and that's why there's lawyer, there's accountant. There's nothing, once you are making money, you need to be close to your accountant, you need to be close to your lawyers to give you advice. And the best way is to ensure that at any point you are starting anything that you know will bring some little proceed to you, either your employment or you are opening a bank or you are buying a property, the area of next of kin will always be there. Then apart from that, the issue of will. Then on the other side, what matters most, particularly when it comes to, like I will keep saying, is that how to be honest, how to be accountable, how to be accountable. And like I said, it is innate of everybody. Sometimes let me use the word to misbehave, but that is essence of law. That's essence of regulatory agency. That is essence of law enforcement agency. Once there is a way to ensure to enforce the law, nobody dares touches anybody's property. Because when that one is done, you know that the law will be there to deal with you. I think the basic thing here is that we need a strong institution. Once the institution is strong, nobody dare do that.
Thank you. Strong institutions indeed, and we'll end the discussion here. I've been speaking with Barrister Kayode Ajilo. Very nice to have you on the program this morning. Thank you. Okay. Next is our Surviving COVID-19 series.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
See, I sell bags, all type of bags, laptop, traveling bags, any kind of bag you want.
How long have you been into this business?
12 years now.
Please, can you tell us the challenges you faced during COVID?
You did not even give us a space. There is no space to come out to say, this is what you are doing. Everybody stay at home. So we need to obey the sit-at-home order. Apart from COVID, we still have to talk about exchange rates. That is too much now. We cannot do it as usual. As in, price of things are not really coming down. It's very high. From the international markets to the local markets. So it's not really encouraging.
Do you heard about government schools? CBN?
Normally, but we the marketers, nobody has ever come here to say we have a loan somewhere or we have this somewhere. Maybe it's my only beef from man no man.
Would you like to apply?
Apply? It depends on the kind of how we return. I think we can apply. I think we can even go higher than this if we see the money. Going to China is not our problem. People travel to China, anywhere, to bring their goods.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
The Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS, Mohammed Nani, says the mandate of the service is to collect taxes that are due to the Federation and the federal government, not to grant tax waivers to any taxpayer in the country. Nami stated this in a swift reaction to the news making the rounds that some companies, among them Dangote, Sinotruck Limited, Lafarge, Honeywell, had been granted tax waiver on pioneer status between 2019 and 2021 in the sum of 16 trillion naira by the FRS and other federal government agencies. Nami says it's not within the power of the service to grant such, as there are relevant agencies of government that are charged with such responsibility. He, however, noted that the service is not unmindful of the objective of granting tax waivers to investors, which he said include helping to grow local companies, stimulate economic growth, and earn investors' confidence. How much is the Naira exchanging for other currencies? Let's find out. Economy experts are synergizing with policymakers to strengthen the environment for more growth in micro, small and medium enterprises in the economy. Boss Stable in this report tells of a fusion of ideas targeted at bridging the unemployment gap.
Micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, constitute significant percentage of the economy and are critical for development of any nation. Following the recent approval by the federal government on the reviewed national policy on MSMEs 2021-2025, experts at the Personal and Business Acceleration Masterclass say for businesses to survive, more attention must be given to entrepreneurs, especially startups.
What's your business potential?
In the world of today, what is important is your ideas. It is the value that you bring. Before even graduation, we start looking at what is it that I can do.
The challenges confronting the growth of most businesses were narrowed down to the environment, capital potential, mindset, and poor awareness, among others. The aim here is for the young to meet with the already experienced, as well as policymakers to find a common front.
I'm looking forward to a time in the next year, even the next 5 years, that from this masterclass we'll say we've bettered millionaires, we've bettered new ideas that would develop the country, that would better new businesses, that will be able to scale up existing businesses. That is my vision.
If you make money by doing nothing, you remain nothing. So in your business model, you have to plan to provide your own environment. Take for instance businesses.
It is hoped that engagements like this would refocus MSMEs in Nigeria to be more active, innovative, and globally competitive.
The equities market opened the week on a bearish note, with investors losing 18.9 billion naira. The all-share index shed 0.07% to close Monday's trading session at 49,440.21 points. 67.3 million shares valued at 1.48 billion were traded in 3,386 deals. Market capitalization fell to 26.6 trillion naira. The financial services industry dominated the activity chart, with FBN Holdings, Zenith Bank, and Guarantee Trust Holding Company the most traded stocks. And now it's time to catch up with global market activities with Nneka Oko.
The U.S. Federal Reserve's two-day monetary policy meeting, which begins Tuesday, is at the forefront of global investors' mind. Markets expect a 75 basis point rate hike as the central bank strives to get soaring prices under control. Meanwhile, U.S. stock futures rose slightly early Tuesday morning as Wall Street looked to build on a modest rebound ahead of another rate hike from the Federal Reserve. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average inched up 0.37%. S&P 500 futures added 0.41%, and those for the Nasdaq 100 rose 0.43%. European markets climbed on Tuesday, building on broadly higher trade on Monday as stocks recovered from tough week last week, which saw stocks fall across the board. The DAX was up 0.3% in early trade, with UK's FTSE adding 0.8%, and the French CAC gained 0.83%. Stocks in the Asia Pacific also rose Tuesday as Japan's inflation accelerated and China kept its loan prime rate on hold. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index gained 1.16%. The Shanghai Composite in mainland China rose 0.22%, and Japan's Nikkei 225 rose 0.44% on its return to trade. Early figures from African markets are pointing to a positive open, with South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 and Namibia's overall index already posting gains at 1.16% and 0.14% respectively.
Thanks, Nick, and this is where we end this episode of the program for today. Don't forget you can access all previous episodes on YouTube on the NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us via our various social media platforms. Business Express returns Wednesday by 3 p.m. Don't forget, buy Nigeria to grow the economy. God bless Nigeria. My name is Leah Kating. Baba today. Have a good day.
A nation without law and order translates to anarchy. Little wonder nations, including Nigeria, have multitude of laws formulated to keep them running. Now, how do we define a nation with beautifully crafted laws but lacks enforcement? Nigeria is not far-fetched from this. Why do Nigerians find it difficult to play by the rules? Why are there no proper enforcement? Are there some citizens above the law? Why do we obey laws outside the country but return home to disobey our own? What civic lesson are we leaving behind for posterity? I tell you what, the answers to these questions will be thrown open on the floor of conversations this Wednesday, the 21st of September, 2020.